And a very pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Eyes Lamel Family Field as we're counting down to another USA South Conference football matchup. The Brevard College Tornadoes taking on the Greensboro College Pride. It's homecoming here at Brevard College. Always a festive event, and looking forward to the Tornadoes getting back in action. Tornadoes off to a strong start, 2-1 overall, 2-0 in the USA South Conference, have won their last two games. Greensboro, meanwhile, 1-3 and 1-1 in the USA South Conference. Most recently, the Tornadoes, an impressive win over Southern Virginia in Buena Vista, Virginia, 55-21 in that dominant road performance. 55 points scored, most by the program since 2017, which actually the Tornadoes put up 63 points that year against Greensboro. But having talked to Coach Kyatt prior to the game, this isn't the Greensboro from 2017. This program has evolved, it has grown, and this will be an opponent that the Tornadoes cannot take lightly this evening. Some electricity on offense, big play potential, and a swarming defense that has a bunch of different looks they'll throw at you. So we'll look forward to that matchup on the field. Should be a great one. Under the lights, ideal conditions. I mean, Chamber of Commerce weather here in western North Carolina. Currently 71 degrees. However, it feels a lot hotter than that down on that turf. The sun has been shining on the turf. I would venture to add 10 to 15 degrees in terms of the temperature that the student athletes will be dealing with down there on that Eyes Lamel Family Field turf. However, before the end of this game, the sun will set. The lights will go on here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. And speaking of electricity, you'll feel the electricity in the air at that point, and it'll be something to certainly look forward to as the pride of Greensboro comes to town to take on the Brevard College Tornadoes. Well, just moments ago, we caught up with head coach Bill Kyatt, and we're able to preview even further this evening's matchup versus Greensboro. Let's hear what the coach had to say. Joined now by head coach Bill Kyatt, just moments away from the start of Brevard versus Greensboro. Coach, I know the team is looking forward to today's matchup, trying to keep this momentum in the USA South going.
Certainly, and we had to really evaluate the opponent this week. Great leadership for Greensboro with Coach Tyler Card. He has really built something special up there at Greensboro, and you can tell by their performance on the field with the culture they have and the identity that is now evident when you look at them on film. We're just looking to really control this game and play Brevard College football today.
The Tornadoes missed a weekend, a trip to Maryville, then a trip to Southern Virginia, but finally back home here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. It's a homecoming game, a lot of excitement under the lights. Can you talk about that home field advantage that Eyes Lamel Family Field always provides?
Certainly, and it's been quite a trek to get here, and we're extremely thankful to be able to get out onto this turf tonight. And it's the lights that add a little extra something. Maybe you remember in those days back in high school and living your glory days. So we will have the energy there, but again, the drum line you can probably hear in the background right now, and the roar of the crowd really gives the energy that we need to just push things over the top for us.
And last one, Coach, in terms of X's and O's, if we can talk about when Brevard has the football and then when Greensboro has the football, what are some of the things the fans should be looking out for?
All right, so when Greensboro has the football on offense, they have some extremely dynamic playmakers. So we need to work really hard to prevent them from being able to go down the field on one or two plays and go 50 yards for a touchdown. We want to make them earn every single yard that they get. When Brevard is on offense and we're going against Greensboro's defense, they give some very exotic looks, and they try to create a lot of chaos on your offense. So our offense will have to have extremely perfect communication in order to be successful offensively.
Very good. Best of luck today, Coach.
All right, appreciate it.
Some excellent insight there from head coach Bill Kyatt previewing this evening's matchup between Greensboro and Brevard. Should be a good one. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll start with the Brevard College offense. And the offensive line, a couple of changes there. Brody Lindsay will once again get the start at left tackle. Left guard will be Jordan Lindsay, who we've seen him as the starting center, but he moves over to left guard due to an injury to Bernard Wirtz. Wirtz is available in case of emergency, so just keep that in your back pocket. But Blackstock, meanwhile, will be the starting center, Josh Blackstock. So Jordan Lindsay at the left guard, Brody Lindsay at left tackle, center Josh Blackstock. LaRodrick Rucker, once again the starter at right guard, and the right tackle will be Eli Ward. At the fullback position, Blake Shepard, and at tight end, Ian Castellanos. Wide receivers in the starting lineup, Cooper Hogan and Zachary Orr. Expect to see a lot of Reggie Taylor II and Adam Douglas as well. And then starting running back, Chancellor Lee Parker. What a career he's had here at Brevard College. And he'll be spelled at times, and we'll also see some time as the feature back will be Jadian Deaton. He's had a great inaugural season with the Tornadoes. And the starting quarterback, Ethan Beamish. Great season Beamish is off to this year. He's already won some accolades and looking forward to even bigger things. So there's your Brevard offense. Let's take a look at the Brevard College defense. Along that front four, Hot Rod Fitton and Robert Dorsey are the defensive ends. Defensive tackles, Ernest Smith and Trey Williams. Also expect to see a lot of Obadiah Grimes, Antonio King, Chase Pfeiffer, Nicholas Schultes, and see Zion Wilson. Keep an eye on him, number 99, a real run plugger in the middle of that line there. Linebackers, meanwhile, Adam Cheney, Hunter Davis, and Bailey Ramey. And then the secondary, cornerbacks James Woods and Jamari McDaniel, Justice Redmond at one safety, Carter Rollerson at the other. We'll also see Jalen Brown and Dylan James at that safety position. And Kentrell Holloway, we'll see him at that nickel back position. So there's your Tornado defense. By the way, the Tornado special teams, expect Nick Akis to once again handle kickoffs. Hugo Taylor, the heralded place kicker, will handle field goals and extra points. The punter will be Samuel Vargas. And then a group of players are expected to see time in the return position. Reggie Taylor, Cooper Hogan, Jadian Deaton, Jeremiah Lane, and Zachary Orr. And then long snapper Jamie Tinsley, backed up by Dominic O'Brien, and then the holder, Nick Akis. So there's your special teams. Now let's take a look at the offense for Greensboro College. Their offensive line, Stanley Fedorovich, Dalton Ovando, Jeremiah Cass, Jacob Doolittle, and Wyatt Brown. The tight end is Wes Kidd. 3 wide receivers in their starting lineup. Expect to see a lot of Coy Davis, Mandry Ogletree, and Jashawn Harris. Running backs, Tariq Smith. We'll also see Kirsten Burgess throughout this matchup. And then Dion Cannon, the freshman, gets the start at quarterback. So the Greensboro offense, some of those electric skill position players will continue to keep an eye on. Davis, Ogletree, Harris, and Smith in particular. They can bust big ones at any time, and that'll be something for the Tornadoes to try to contain. Meanwhile, the Greensboro defense is as followed. Cedric Crenshaw, Jordan Bennett, and Deshaun Holman along that defensive line. DeJuan Robinson, Max Steele, Zier Ray, and Will Paulthorpe at the linebacker positions. And then the secondary for Greensboro, Jaden James, Jawan Givens, Keandrick Baines, and Taysing Brown. Do want to mention the Greensboro special teams as well. Expect Reagan Sawyer to handle kickoffs. Thomas Chapman is who handles field goal kicking, and Reagan Sawyer actually handles the point after touchdown. So interesting way to split things up there. We'll see if that trends in this direction again this game. Meanwhile, Chapman's also the punter, and then return men Harris, Hawkins, and Carr. So that sets you up in terms of the starting lineups for this matchup, Brevard and Greensboro, as the teams continue their pregame warm-ups. In fact, the Tornadoes have just wrapped up their warm-up session, are heading back to the locker room from some final words from head coach Bill Kyatt, along with the coaching staff of the Tornadoes, and Greensboro wrapping up their warm-ups as well. Should be a great one. The Tornadoes really rolling as of late, a 42-26 win over the defending USA South Conference champions Belhaven back on September the 21st. They were scheduled the very next weekend to head to Maryville. However, that game postponed due to Hurricane Helene. And then at Southern Virginia on October the 5th, last weekend, a 55-21 win. And then right back here, Ties Linnell Family Field, back-to-back home games. Greensboro this weekend, LaGrange next weekend. And the Tornadoes looking to take care of business versus Greensboro this evening under the lights. Head coach Bill Kyatt, we heard from him earlier. And he's now in his 8th season at the helm of the Tornadoes. The alum of Duke University, also has playing and coaching experience in the NFL. And speaking of NFL experience, assistant coaching staff includes former NFL players Martin Bayless, Everett Lindsay, and Kurt Gavea. Also, Chris Symington, a veteran of that coaching staff as well. He's coached in all sorts of big places, including stops like Colorado, amongst others. And then a strong remainder of that football coaching staff, Matt Helton, Case Cookus, Zach Dysert, Andrew Jordan the Jr., Jaden O'Leary, Brandon Crawford. O'Leary and Crawford, both BC alums. Also Miles Hayes, a Brevard College alum, along with Brandon Unanks and DJ Taylor, Toby Naylor, Dennis Lumpkin, and Chris Hatch. So there's your Tornadoes coaching staff. Greensboro's head coach is Tyler Card, assisted by Maurice Terrain, Chance Green, Ty Schwallen, Cale Matthews, Jordan Hartman, Jonathan Burton, Jawarren Bird, Remy Alston, Ty Clodfelter, and Mike Godsey II. So there you have it, Brevard College and Greensboro College. We're about 15 minutes away from really getting things started in earnest here. Looking forward to this one. A lot of anticipation, and the Tornado fans have been looking forward to this Brevard College football team being back on the Eisenmel Family Field turf, and that's exactly what we'll get this evening. But it should be a formidable opponent, not the Greensboro we've seen in past years where the Tornadoes would often just roll right over them. We're expecting a competitive ball game today, a very tough Greensboro squad here in 2024. Stick with us. We'll have more as we preview Greensboro and Brevard football action coming up shortly.
Every cheer, for every play, we know there's a little prayer that no one gets hurt. That's why we are there too. Party athletic trainers, physicians, and specialists. We're watching closely for any sign that someone needs care. And if your child is hurt, they're seen right away by the region's top specialists. The Party Sports Medicine team is at every game,
Let's pray. Our source, we're grateful for the beauty of this day and for the ways you have made to allow us to be here. As we stand, we are mindful of those of us who live in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Bless us and them as they stand and as they recover. Bless all those who stand on this field, student athletes and coaches and trainers and refs and all who take part in this space. Bless us who stand in the background to live into the highest ideals of sportsmanship. Bless them, keep them safe and in your care, and allow them to leave it all on the field this day, and we give thanks. Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, remain standing and remove your hats for the singing of the national anthem performed today by Brevard College School of Music alumni from the class of 2008, Megan Kinsler-Certikopoulos of Brevard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Outstanding performance of the national anthem. 2008 alumna of Brevard College, Megan Kinsler-Certikopoulos, graduate of the School of Music here at Brevard College. Great to see alums coming back here on homecoming. And also another alum, the campus minister here at Brevard College, Sherrod Kreisman, handling the invocation. Make it a trifecta. We've got a alum, Ray Gill, also Brevard College Athletics Hall of Famer in the house, handling public address announcing. So some great alumni presence as the two teams have made their way to the turf here at Lamel Family Field. Now we're heading out to the coin toss. Bailey Ramey and Ethan Beamish, the captains for Brevard. Tornadoes in their home blue uniforms with the silver pants, the blue trim, silver numerals. And Greensboro in the white uniforms, green pants, green numerals, green helmets. Tornadoes with those silver helmets, sort of a Detroit Lions look. Heavily anticipated matchup here. It's been a few weeks since we've seen the Tornadoes here on the Lamel Family Field turf. Hurricane Helene postponing the Maryville matchup. And the Tornadoes went to Southern Virginia. Greensboro has won the toss. They've decided to defer until the second half. So the Tornadoes will receive the opening kickoff. Tornadoes will be moving from left to right on your device. Appreciate you tuning in wherever you may be joining us from. If you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Hit that little bell so you receive all the notifications when the Tornadoes go live. We'll be bringing you all the action throughout the football season as well as all home athletic events all throughout the 2024-25 season. Ready to get things started here on the campus of Brevard College. Sort of a twilight start here, 6 p.m. start time. And Tornadoes will receive Reggie Taylor and Jeremiah Lane deep for the Nados. And Reagan Sawyer will kick off for Greensboro. Well, right on time, 6:01 p.m. Eastern Time, and ready to get things going here on the campus of Brevard College. USA South Conference action. And toe meets leather. Sawyer with the kickoff. It's a short kickoff, bounces in front of Lane, who picks it up on the hop, and now switches to the other side. Lane finding an opening. Lane around the near sideline. Lane continuing to move forward all the way into plus territory, down at the 41-yard line, but a late flag comes flying in. Keandrick Baines eventually brought him down, but what a return from Lane, starting on that left side, had off the one hop, and then cut all the way here to the near side. A huge return, but this one may be coming back, a late flag. It's a blindside block on Brevard College, so this one's coming back. After a ton of excitement, you could see the speed of Jeremiah Lane. Still some yardage being continuing to mark off from the spot of the foul, I believe. So now the 29-yard line is where the Tornadoes will get things started. So the big punt return, kickoff return rather, from freshman returner Jeremiah Lane out of Louisville, Georgia, is nullified. So the Tornadoes will get things started. 1st and 10 from the 29. Chancellor Lee Parker in the backfield. The handoff to Lee Parker, and he barrels forward for about 3 yards. Max Steele credited with the tackle. We also saw Ray, number 48, in the vicinity. So it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 32.
Brings up 2nd and 7 for your Tornadoes.
Tornadoes, 2 wide receivers split out to the left. Chancellor Lee Parker in motion to Beamish's left. Now the pass to Lee Parker in the flat. Lee Parker turns upfield and brought down short of the marker. I'm going to bring up a 3rd down situation. Max Steele with the tackle once again. Meanwhile, a different package checking in here on 3rd down. Wide receivers Adam Douglas and also Jack Spots. So I'm going to bring up a 3rd and 3 for the Tornadoes offense led by Ethan Beamish. junior signal caller from Simpsonville, South Carolina. Beamish drops back, looks upfield, able to find an open receiver, all sorts of space for Cooper Hogan. Hogan breaks a tackle. Hogan to the house. Touchdown, Tornadoes. 63 yards. The quick strike. Beamish to Cooper Hogan for 63 yards. And just like that, Tornadoes up 6-0, pending a extra point from Hugo Taylor. Kick is up and good. So 7-0, big time connection there. Beamish to Hogan. It's an outstanding start for the Tornadoes. Up 7-0. $63 yards. Outstanding. That was Beamish's 10th touchdown pass of the year. As Nick Akis will kick off for the Tornadoes. And the Greensboro return is Harris. And Harris able to find an opening himself and then tripped up. Harris with a big time return of his own from the 10-yard line all the way into plus territory, but just like we saw with the opening kickoff for the Tornadoes, a block in the back by Greensboro is going to nullify another kick return. So if you're a fan of special teams, if you're a special team coordinator, this is the kind of stuff that drives you absolutely crazy. Roller coaster of emotions. Big kickoff return and then coming right back with the penalty. We've seen the same exact thing on the last two kickoffs from each team. So this one will go all the way back. It's actually going to be difficult field position. All the way inside the 10-yard line. Oh, my. It's equivalent to about a 60-yard penalty net yardage. Play action. Cannon, the freshman quarterback for Greensboro. And quickly there on the tackle was Woods. Coy Davis with the catch. So 2nd and 6. And now a rush by Tariq Smith. And Tornadoes there defensively. Ernest Smith there on the defensive end. Big time loss of 5. So Tariq Smith, is the running back for Greensboro. Meanwhile, Cannon looks upfield, And some nice pressure on Cannon. He rushed that pass. It was off the mark and also high, intended for the tight end, number 11. And so that'll be a 3-and-out for the Tornado defense, as that field position after that penalty on the kickoff return really hurts Greensboro. As big chance for the Tornadoes to come up with some big-time field position of their own here. Zachary Orr with the punt return, able to break one tackle, then he's brought down, but it's going to be great field position for the Tornadoes down at the 36-yard line in plus territory. And that's where the Tornadoes will go back to work, enjoying a 7-0 lead. Dykes had the special teams tackle for Greensboro after the Orr punt return. Well, second possession of the game for the Tornadoes. Beamish a perfect 2 for 2, including officially a 64-yard touchdown to Cooper Hogan. Jaden Deaton is checked in at running back for the Tornadoes. Beamish back to pass, able to find Zachary Orr in the flat. Zor heads upfield on that far sideline. Couple yards shy of the marker, 2nd and 2. Beamish finding his favorite target, Zachary Orr, who's coming off a D3Football.com National Team of the Week selection for his performance at Southern Virginia. 11-11 to play here in the first quarter. 2nd and 2, handoff to Jaden Deaton. And the Greensboro defense completely snuffed that out. A host of Pride defenders, led by Deshaun Holman, also Cedric Crenshaw Jr. on the tackle. So that'll back them up. It's a loss of 1, maybe even 2 yards. That'll bring up a 3rd, and we'll call it 3 for the Tornadoes. Now, the last time the Tornadoes faced a 3rd down, scored a 64-yard touchdown. This time able to find who else? Cooper Hogan again. So 2 third down attempts, both completions to Cooper Hogan. And a 1st down for the Tornadoes, as Hogan now with his 2nd catch of the ball game. A injured player on the field. Looks like a Greensboro Pride student athlete. Beamish now 4 for 4. 2 passes to Cooper Hogan for a grand total of 74 yards and a touchdown. Also has found Zachary Orr and Chancellor Lee Parker. So good-looking drive here for the Tornadoes. After that 10-yard pass to Hogan, Tornadoes in some great field position after the punt return from Orr. Zaire Ray, the injured Greensboro Pride student athlete, being helped off the field. He's starting linebacker for Greensboro. So 1st and 10 from the 19. Ethan Beamish going back to work. Chancellor Lee Parker with the handoff. And he's chased down from behind right around the line of scrimmage. Cedric Crenshaw Jr. getting in on that tackle once again. Crenshaw Jr. out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. Zachary Orr's checked in. Also Reggie Taylor, the second. Joseph Cuellar as well in this latest package from the Tornadoes. 3 wide receivers to the right. Chancellor Lee Parker to the left. A pass to the end zone and able to connect to Zachary Orr. Touchdown, Tornadoes. Beamish finding Orr, and 2 quick strike offensive attacks by the Tornadoes have given Brevard an early 13-0 lead. A 20-yard touchdown pass to Zachary Orr from Ethan Beamish. Extra point coming from Hugo Taylor. Akis, the holder. Jamie Tinsley, the long snapper. Kick is up. There's a flag down. So we'll see what that's all about. Offsides on Greensboro. It's declined, so the extra point counts. 14-0. NATO's on top. Just 9:23 remaining here in this first quarter. We haven't even played 6 minutes, and the Tornadoes up 14-0 after a couple of quick strikes. Beamish touchdown passes to Cooper Hogan for 64 yards and Zachary Orr for 20 yards. Beamish now 5 for 5 for 106 yards and the 2 touchdowns. And that was all set up by that Orr punt return. And Tornadoes will kick off once again. Nicholas Akis handling those duties. Carr and Harris deep for Greensboro. 14-0 Tornadoes. What a start here for the homecoming game. It's Harris from the 5. Harris taken down, chopped down. Big time tackle there. Antonio King. Antonio King, the sophomore from Pamlico County, North Carolina, transferred from St. Augustine's. Got some Pamlico County enthusiasts here at Islowell Family Field tonight. Antonio King, also a key member of the Brevard College track and field program. 1st and 10 from the 20. And somehow making the catch was Jashawn Harris. Carter Rollerson brought him down. Harris bobbled it and then somehow collected it. Able to withstand some punishment there from Rollerson as well. Somehow keeps possession through it all. 2nd and 6 from the 24. Tariq Smith rolling out, and then a deep shot and able to find the open wide receiver who got behind the defense. It's Trey Jones. And a huge play from Greensboro, something we had talked to head coach Bill Kyatt about. There's an injured Greensboro Pride player. We've also got a flag down. We'll get all this sorted out. But the big play potential of the Greensboro offense is something that the Tornadoes coaching staff had been preparing for all week. And Greensboro was able to get that deep shot beyond the secondary. It's going to be an additional 15 yards on the roughing the passer penalty by the Tornadoes. And meanwhile, the quarterback, the freshman for Greensboro, DeJon Cannon, the injured player. So he's being attended to all the way back on the Greensboro sidelines at about the 22-yard line. So an additional 15 yards on top of what was already a huge gain by Greensboro. So a huge gainer. 47-yard pass, Cannon to Jones, and then a 15-yard roughing the passer call. So grand total of 62 yards on the play when you add in the penalty. Now the backup quarterback, Jaden Morrison, in the game. They hand it off to Tariq Smith, and the Tornadoes all over it. That front seven of Brevard leading the charge. Trey Williams getting nasty there in the interior of that defensive line. So Jaden Morrison is checked in at quarterback for Greensboro. Junior out of Raleigh, North Carolina, Enloe High School. So 2nd and 10. A quarterback keeper there, and Morrison with a negligible gain. Tackle by Adam Cheney. Big time play there for Cheney. In fact, no gain on the play. So back-to-back running plays have netted 0 yards for Greensboro, as Tornado defense tightening up here. Morrison being called into duty after the injury to Cannon. Now the Tornadoes with an opportunity to hold Greensboro to a field goal attempt with a 3rd and long, but there's a timeout on the field. Greensboro calls their first of 3 timeouts. 7:03 to play. Tornadoes 14, Pride 0.
I've taken jumps in my academic career, and I've taken jumps in just socializing and getting out and getting to do things I've never done before.
The thing that brought me to Brevard is the experiential learning. I've always been a hands-on guy.
I love it here at Brevard. Over Christmas break, I was itching to come back because I love the area so much.
Experiential learning here is beyond all of my expectations.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
Coming off the Greensboro timeout, it's 3rd and 10. Quick hitter there to Smith. Smith with a couple of blockers ahead of him, and that's going to be good enough for the first down inside the 5-yard line. So nice play design there by Greensboro coming out of the timeout. And Jamari McDaniels, who ultimately brought down Smith. Nice, nifty play there out of the backfield to find Smith, and nice gainer there. So the Pride in the red zone, 1st and goal from the 4. 6:25 to play here, first quarter. Morrison continuing his relief duty at the quarterback position. Sort of a jumbo formation for Greensboro, and those running plays don't seem to be working for Greensboro, as once again, that big front of Brevard College, guys like Ernest Smith and Trey Williams. Hot Rod Fitton getting in there on the action. Got to be one of the better names across all of college football. Hot Rod Fitton. Meanwhile, 2nd and goal from the 4 after no gain on that running play. Morrison rolls out to his right. Pressured. He's going to keep it himself and stepping up to make the tackle. Big-time play there by James Woods. James Woods getting in there for the tackle. So that'll bring up a 3rd and goal from just outside the 2-yard line.
It's 3rd down.
5 minutes and counting here in the first quarter. Morrison with Smith to his left. A flag, a pre-snap penalty, and that's going to be a false start on Greensboro, so that's going to push him back. So certainly Greensboro will rethink their play call here now from the 7-yard line instead of the 2. A couple of Greensboro penalties have really been killers early on, nullifying a kickoff return that would have given them great field position and set up the Tornadoes ultimately for their 2nd touchdown. And now, when they were facing 3rd and goal from the 2, backed up 5 yards, so it'll be 3rd and goal from the 7. Morrison, Smith to his left. Another flag. It's going to be the same story. That wide receiver jumped off sides. False start on Greensboro. So Tornadoes might decline this and take the 4th down. Or you could back them up even further and see what happens. But I'd imagine you decline this penalty, assuming we've got it right here in the press box. And indeed, another false start on Greensboro. Kind of thing that's just absolutely drives coaching staffs nuts. Penalty will be declined, I'd imagine. In fact, penalty is declined. So that'll bring up 4th and goal, and the offense is still out there for Greensboro. Down 14-0. And we don't see the field goal unit anywhere in sight. Looks like Greensboro is going to go for it here, but meanwhile, the play clock down to 12 seconds has taken a lot of time getting that play in to Morrison. 5 seconds on the play clock. Going for it on 4th downs. Greensboro Tornadoes are all over it. A 4th down stop by the Brevard College defense. Bailey Ramey and Robert Dorsey with the big-time TFL. And the Tornadoes will take over on down, stopping Greensboro, who had made it all the way to the 2-yard line. And the Tornadoes get the stop and able to keep a 0 on the board for the Pride. Tornadoes take off offensively. Officially, that'll be ruled a sack. So, first sack of the game for either side. Meanwhile, another flag here. It's going to be offsides on Greensboro. So, the last 3 snaps for Greensboro, false start. Now that they're on defense, offsides. Pre-snap penalties. You talk to any football coach in the country, they'll tell you those are absolute killers. Inexcusable. And Greensboro, their own worst enemy at the moment. Meanwhile, Tornadoes ahead 14-0, taking over offensively here. 1st and 5. Jaden Deaton, good-looking rush there. Short gain. Nice job by Givens and Baines from the secondary of Greensboro to step up and make that tackle. Gain of 1, maybe 2. Chancellor Lee Parker into the game. in motion, Joseph Cuellar. Rush to Chancellor Lee Parker. Lee Parker able to elude a couple of tacklers. And he gets across the sticks for a first down. It's the 4th first down of the contest for Brevard College. Ben Mangungu, the injured player for Greensboro. Another first down for the Tornadoes. Good-looking rush there for Chancellor Lee Parker. A 6-yard gain. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25. First quarter action, 14-0 Nados. George Rennie, the wide receiver in motion. Pass to Rennie, and Rennie's brought down immediately. Gain of 5. Will Palethorpe with the tackle. Palethorpe wears number 1, junior out of Woodstock, Georgia. Woodstock in the Atlanta metro area. Etowah High School product. 2nd and 5. Here's Jaden Deaton. Deaton busting it to the left side. Deaton's off and running to the races. They aren't going to catch him. Touchdown, Jaden Deaton. The second big-time play for the Tornadoes. Huge play for Jaden Deaton. A 70-yard touchdown run by Deaton. Career long in a Tornado uniform. And the longest rush of the season by a Tornado running back. And just like that, Tornadoes 20-0. Oh, my. So there was a penalty there on the Tornadoes, unsportsmanlike conduct after the touchdown. So that'll be assessed on the kickoff. Meanwhile, Hugo Taylor splits the uprights for his 3rd extra point, and we're not even through the first quarter. 21-zip, Nados on top. So Beamish to Cooper Hogan for 64 yards. Beamish to Zachary Orr for 20 yards. And then Jaden Deaton, a 70-yard rush. Big-time running play there for Deaton. That puts Deaton over the 300-yard mark for the season. Jaden Deaton, what an addition he has been out of Tennessee Martin. Deaton, the senior from New Albany, Mississippi. And what a 1-2 punch between Chancellor Parker and Jaden Deaton the Tornadoes have at that running back position. Harrison Carr deep. Akis with his kickoff. It's taken by a up man, Chu Hemingway. And then The Tornadoes able to make a big tackle there as Jamon Fanning with the tackle. Tristan Wynn getting in on that tackle as well. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Greensboro. Jaden Morrison, who is in relief of an injured Deon Cannon, going back to work here for the Pride. Check that. Cannon is back into the game. One player wears 18, the other wears 19, and this is 19. So good news. Cannon back into the game after he was shaken up. And his helmet came off, so he's going to have to head back out. So Cannon out, Morrison back in. So it'll be 2nd and 4 on the quarterback run by Cannon, 6-yard gain. But now Morrison checks back in. Cannon's being attended to again on the sidelines. In motion is Harris. And whistle pre-snap penalty once again. And that's another false start on Greensboro. So we've seen 3 false starts in the last 5 plays from scrimmage for the Greensboro Pride's offense. I don't mean to be piling on, but this is the sort of thing that can make a big difference in any game of football. Second and 9. Rush here by Smith. Solid gainer all the way to past the 50-yard line. McDaniel forces him out of bounds. Smith, the sophomore from Trenton, New Jersey, making his way from the Garden State down to Greensboro College. 1st and 10 from the 49 in plus territory once again. Greensboro, big time quarterback hurry there by Robert Dorsey. Robert Dorsey, big time play there all over Morrison. No flags, a clean hit. And it is tough to get an offense going when you've got a player like Robert Dorsey, who, by the way, last year led all of NCAA Division III in the category of forced fumbles. That actually had the hardware to prove it in the Boschenberg Gymnasium. 2nd and 10 from the 49. Morrison with the pass on the near sideline to the tight end, Wes Kidd. Kidd, the senior from Sanford, North Carolina. Southern Lee High School. Gain of 5, so that'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Pride. Pride so far 1 of 3 on 3rd down. Play action pass. Morrison going over the top. Intended for Hawkins, but about 5 yards long, and that'll bring up another 4th down. And once again, it looks like the Greensboro Pride's offense is staying on the field, but we've got a flag, meanwhile, to sort out. Or check that. Just getting things settled in terms of spot and clock. So 4th down. So once again, Greensboro opts to go for it on 4th down, down 21-0. Morrison rolling out to his right. And incomplete. Tornadoes will get another stop and will take over on downs once again. Greensboro 0 for 2 now against the Tornado defense on 4th down. So Tornadoes take over at their own 44. Solid field position again, already up 21-0 here in this first quarter.
Please remember the concession stand will close at the start of the third quarter.
So 1st and 10 from the 44. Ethan Beamish going back to work. Jaden Deaton, who last time he touched the ball had career-long touchdown from 70 yards. Meanwhile, Beamish over the top. A wide-open Zachary Orr and another touchdown for the Tornadoes on the first play of the drive. "56 yards." Tornadoes ahead 27-0. Hugo Taylor on for already his 4th extra point attempt in this first quarter. Kick is up and good. A 56-yard strike, Beamish to Orr. So Beamish has a 64-yard touchdown pass, a 20-yard touchdown pass, now a 56-yard touchdown pass. 3 of the Tornadoes' touchdowns, 50 yards or more. There was even a kickoff return for over 50 yards. That was brought back due to penalty, however, so we can't count that one. But the big play ability of the Tornadoes shining here in this homecoming matchup. As Nick Akis will kick off once again. And it'll be Harris from the 15-yard line. And Harris brought down Brooks Ashford Jr. with the tackle. Antonio King was there early on as well. The Tornadoes special teams firing on all cylinders as well. Tornado defense will go back to work. They've had a couple of great stops on 4th down to set up these drives for the NATOs last couple times out. So Morrison at the quarterback position for Greensboro. A whistle with 34 seconds left on the clock. A delay of game call on Greensboro. Fifth penalty on Greensboro. First and 15 for Morrison in the Greensboro offense. And some trickery here from Greensboro, and they're able to connect. Morrison to Hawkins to Davis. Bit of a flea flicker there. So Morrison laterals it to Hawkins, and then Hawkins with a deep shot to Davis. And Greensboro with a big play. They've got that big play ability. And that'll be the last play of the first quarter. We'll head to the second quarter with your score. Tornadoes 28, Pride 0.
Probably one of the prettiest places on the earth. And to come to somewhere where it's such a tight-knit community, where everybody has your back, I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere else at bigger schools.
I like to go hang out at the coffee shop, sit outside at the picnic tables, maybe do a little bit of homework there, and just socialize because there's always somebody that I know there.
Brevard does make it easy to come here. The admission process is very simple.
Brevard College, a top choice for students around the world.
As we head to the second quarter here at Islamel Family Field, 28-0. As we keep an eye on the record books here at Brevard College. Congratulations, Zachary Orr, who now is the all-time receiving leader at Brevard College, breaking the record previously held by Brevard College alum Bubba Craven. Meanwhile, deep shot there, and flag flies. It's going to be pass interference on the Tornadoes. So Greensboro not afraid to just let it fly. Zachary Orr, congratulations. Now the Brevard College career receiving leader after he already has 84 yards on 3 catches this evening. Ethan Beamish in that first quarter, 7 for 7, 167 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Ethan Beamish has already won 2 USA South Conference Offensive Player of the Week awards, including this past week. Certainly will be in a running for another one at this rate. Morrison. Quick hitter there to Trey Jones. Brought down after about an 8-yard gain. James Woods with the tackle. James Woods, the senior from Lincolnton, North Carolina. 14:30 to play here, second period, 28-0 Tornadoes. We'll call it a gain of 7, 2nd and 3 from the 9. Greensboro's made their way inside the 10-yard line once in this contest. Ended up turning it over on downs after a costly penalty. Rush here to Smith. And gain of 4 and a first down. So it'll be 1st and goal. First and goal. Morrison, play action, was intending for his tight end, Matthew Kidd. Zipped it right past Kidd and bring up a 2nd and goal situation. So 2nd and goal from the 5. Right hash mark for the Greensboro offense. Tariq Smith to the left of Morrison. Morrison drops back to pass. And incomplete. Intended for Coy Davis. Jamari McDaniel on the coverage. So that'll bring up a 3rd and goal situation.
Fans, let's hear it for your Tornado defense. It's 3rd down.
Jaden Morrison takes the snap, rolls out to his left, and pass was complete momentarily, but then a nice breakup by the NATO's Carter Rollerson with the breakup. Rollerson, a big-time pass breakup there. Rollerson, the sophomore from Flowery Branch, Georgia. And after being stopped on 4th down twice, Greensboro has thought otherwise this time around and brought out the field goal unit. Morrison, who's now in at quarterback for Greensboro, is the holder. Chapman, the kicker. This from 21 yards, and it's good. So Greensboro able to get on the board. Your score, Tornadoes 28, Pride 3. So Sawyer will kick off after the Pride able to get on the board. A 21-yard field goal by Thomas Chapman. Reggie Taylor and Jeremiah Lane deep for the Tornadoes on this kickoff by Sawyer. He drives a line drive to Lane. Lane down at the 33. So a decent return there for Lane, and Ethan Beamish will go back to work. We mentioned the 2-time USA South Conference Player of the Week. Off to a 7-for-7 start. 3 touchdowns. Zachary Orr, Jack Spots, part of this 4 wide receiver set. Beamish, back to pass. Throws it into traffic, and after a 7-for-7 start, Beamish with his first interception. First turnover as Will Palthorpe comes up with the INT. So chalk that up perhaps to the old announcer's jinx, if you believe in such things. But all kidding aside, Palethorpe with a good-looking interception there. Beamish trying to thread the needle, and Palethorpe coming up with a pick. So good starting field position for Greensboro. Morrison back to pass. Heavy pressure and incomplete. Big time pressure from the Brevard College defensive line. Trey Williams making things very difficult on Morrison. Now Williams gets a well-deserved breather. He checks out along with Cheney. Obadiah Grimes checks in. Robert Dorsey at that left defensive end position. He's been effective all contest. Harris in motion. The pass to Harris. Tornadoes all over it. Just smothered on that far sideline. Bailey Ramey leading the charge for the NATO's defense on that tackle for loss.
Fans, it's here for your Tornado defense. It's third down.
Ramey, the leading tackler for the NATO's this season, had 26 tackles leading into this evening. Third and long. Big time pressure there. Once again, it's Robert Dorsey. Ball is loose. Robert Dorsey with the forced fumble. Obadiah Grimes with the recovery. And the NCAA leader in 2023 in forced fumbles. Robert Dorsey just forced another one. And after a takeaway by Greensboro, Brevard answers the bell with a takeaway of their own. It's Dorsey's second forced fumble of the year after leading the nation in 2023. Beamish, handoff to Chancellor Lee Parker. Gain of 3. Zachary Orr checking back in. What a evening he's had so already. Cooper Hogan, Adam Douglas. So it'll be 2nd and 6. Quick little end around there on a shuffle pass to Zachary Orr. Crenshaw brought him down, so nifty play call there by Bill Kyatt and the offensive staff. Gain of 3, maybe 4. It'll bring up 3rd and 3.
Brings up 3rd and 3 for your Tornadoes.
Tornadoes, a perfect 2 for 2 on 3rd down. Beamish drops back to pass. Beautifully done there, finding his favorite target, Zachary Orr. Givens brought him down. That's another Tornado first down. Big-time blitz pickup by Chancellor Lee Parker, giving Beamish the time he needed. So another first down for the NATOs. And Zachary Orr's big day continues. He's now over 100 yards for the contest. An evening that he's become the all-time leading receiver here at Brevard College. Rush there. Good solid gain of 8 yards by Chancellor Lee Parker. Lee Parker's 5th carry of the contest. Hogan, Douglas, and Jack Spots have all checked in for the NATOs. Also Seth Marshall on this set. 2 wide receivers to the left, 2 to the right for Ethan Beamish. Rush there, Chancellor Lee Parker. Chancellor Lee Parker, He's got that nose for the end zone, and he found it again. Chancellor Lee Parker. His 7th touchdown of the season. And the Tornadoes stretch their lead to the largest of the night, 34-3. Hugo Taylor mastering the art of the PAT. This will be his 7th attempt, and it is good. So Hugo Taylor, 7 for 7, and we've got 9 minutes to play still in the second quarter. Tornadoes 35, Pride 3. Much to the delight of the homecoming crowd here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. It's the start of fall break, but great to see the student section rocking. A lot of the Brevard College Tornado faithful, the students sticking around, at least for this first weekend of fall break. There's a Futures football game tomorrow at 2 p.m. Make sure you tune in for that one as well. Samuel Vargas will handle the kickoff. So after Akis had the lion's share of the kickoffs to this point, now Vargas with the kickoff. Harris with the return. And Tristan Wynn with the tackle. Well, we've seen Tristan Wynn perform on a couple of these special teams play. Described as an absolute grinder by the coaching staff. Incredible work ethic. Tristan Wynn, the senior from Yanceyville, North Carolina, transferred to Brevard from Guilford. Morrison able to find his running back Smith in the flat. Short gain. Adam Cheney with the tackle. Cheney, another newcomer for the NATOs, but not a newcomer to college football. He's had stints at Campbellsville, also Cumberland's. Now in the graduate program here at Brevard College. 8:30 and counting here in the second period. 2nd and 7. Morrison able to find Coy Davis. Another short gain. Kentrell Holloway, the nickelback for the NATOs, with the tackle. Bailey Ramey was there as well. Holloway, the senior from Roxboro, North Carolina. Person High School product. Flag on the play. Morrison whips it to his wide receiver, Davis. See what the flag's all about. (35-3) lead for the NATOs. It's a legal substitution call on Brevard. So we'll replay the down. It'll be 3rd and 1 after the 5-yard penalty. From the 34-yard line. Pressure was there once again. A batted ball. as Holloway was bringing some pressure. Bailey Ramey with the batted ball on that blitz by the Tornadoes defense. That'll bring on the punting unit for Greensboro. Pressure on the punter Chapman. He's able to get it away. And this will be a flag as Zachary Orr was not given any room to make the catch. He made it somehow. And that's an easy call for the officials to make. So it's a 15-yard penalty on the interference with the catch on the punt return. Baines, the guilty offender. And another costly penalty for the Pride. That's their 6th penalty of the first half. 1st and 10 from the 48. Now under the lights here at Brevard College as the sun has set over the mountains to the west. Rush here and gain of 3. Jaden Deaton with the carry. Palethorpe with the tackle. So 2nd and 8, we'll call it a 2-yard gain for Deaton. Beamish under center with Deaton in the backfield. Little handoff underneath to Zachary Orr, and he bounces his way. A sizable carry there, rushing play for Orr, eventually pushed out of bounds by Brown and Givens. And Orr, really nicely done there, showing he can get it done on the ground as well. So fresh set of downs for Ethan Beamish in the Tornado offense. DJ Henderson has checked into that tailback position. Henderson, the sophomore from Covington, Georgia, Eastside High School. 1st and 10 from the 32. And that'll be a tackle for loss. Ray and Bennett both there on the carry by Henderson. By the way, that gainer for Zachary Orr, 14 yards. Nifty play call, handing it off to Orr, and he scuffled for 14. 2nd and 11 from the 33. Beamish steps up, finds his wide receiver, Reggie Taylor. And Givens brings him down, but that's a 1st down pass. Beamish, the quick feet. So they used to talk about Dan Marino a lot in that department, where he's able to step up and pressure just a couple little steps to gain that extra time and find his open wide receiver, and that's exactly what he did. Brilliant work at the quarterback position by Ethan Beamish. 1st and 10 from the 19. 4:45 and counting here in the first half. Rush here for Chancellor Lee Parker. Givens with the tackle. A 6-yard gain for Chancellor Lee Parker, affectionately known as Chance. So now 2nd down for the NATOs. Now back in the red zone once again. 4:10 to play here in the 2nd quarter. Rush, Jaden Deaton, right in that middle of that Greensboro defense. Some hard work by that Brevard College offensive line. You see bodies flying all over. Brody Lindsay, Jordan Lindsay, Josh Blackstock, LaRoderick Rucker, Eli Ward. That front 5. Brody Lindsay and Jordan Lindsay actually spell their last name differently. One L-Y, the other L-I. Jordan Lindsay in that guard position today after starting the season at the center position. There was an injury. Bernard Wirtz is out with injury. That moved Lindsay from center to guard. Blackstock became the starting center. That last pass intended for Cooper Hogan, incomplete. Bring up 4th down, and Hugo Taylor, after 7 point-after touchdowns, will have his first field goal attempt from 29 yards out. Akis the holder, Tinsley the long snapper, and it's blocked. A block by Greensboro's special teams. Taesong Brown with the block. So a bright spot for Greensboro in a game that they're trailing 35-3, a blocked field goal. So Greensboro will take over with 3:15 to play here in this 2nd quarter. Morrison hands it off to Smith. Smith has really been carrying the load for the Greensboro offense. That's his 6th carry. Hot Rod Fitton and Bailey Ramey combined for that tackle. No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. 2:47 and counting here in this 2nd period. It's been all Brevard ahead 35-3. Morrison with a little shuffle pass there to Harris. The Tornadoes able to read it nicely. Bailey Ramey again on the tackle. So that'll bring up 3rd down. 3rd and 6. Got some new personnel on the Tornadoes defense. Brandon Broughton checking in. Freshman. So an interesting situation here. We're expecting the 2-minute timeout, a new rule in college football, but it seems like the officials are just now noticing it. So we'll see if they ask us to reset the clock to 2 minutes. I actually saw this in a game earlier this week where the clock ran past 2 minutes, and they asked the clock operator to reset it at 2 minutes even. So the 2-minute timeout, a new rule in college football. Still working out the kinks a little with the 2-minute timeout. By the way, don't call it a 2-minute warning, which is what we've been calling it for years in the NFL. That's a prerogative of the folks in the NCAA. They want it to be its own separate thing, the 2-minute timeout. 35-3, all Tornadoes in this one. Total yards, Tornadoes 325 to just 141 for Greensboro. 3 touchdowns of 50 or more yards by the Nados. And now so a punt for Greensboro. This is going to give the Tornadoes a chance if they want to try to add on some more here. It's a good-looking punt, backing up Orr, and takes a Greensboro bounce as well. It'll be down to all the way at the 24-yard line. That's a 50-yard punt. So good-looking boot by the punter, Chapman. So we'll see what the Tornadoes do here. Ahead 35-3. Tornadoes with 2 timeouts. Check that, all 3 timeouts. Pride with 2 timeouts. Jaden Deaton in the backfield. Beamish under center. Pitch to Deaton. Deaton able to cut forward. Really nice job finding that opening on that left side of that offensive line. Brody Lindsay and Jordan Lindsay paving the way. DeJuan Robinson with the tackle. And clock will continue to tick. 80 seconds to play here in this first half. Pitch to Deaton, now going to the right side. And Deaton able to find some daylight and push forward all the way to the 43. So a 13-yard gain for Deaton. Baines takes him down. Clock stops to move the chains.
That's a Brevard College first down.
And another first down for Brevard College, their 11th of the contest. Deaton checks out. Chancellor Lee Parker checks in. What a game Jaden Deaton's having. Play action. Beamish rolling out to his right, now going to keep it. A flag is on the turf. Beamish able to cross the marker for a apparent first down. We'll see what the flag's all about, though. Going to be a holding penalty on the Tornadoes. So Tornadoes with 6 penalties of their own. A couple of them have been costly, nullifying what would have been sizable gains down to the final minute of this second quarter. And Chancellor Lee Parker. Another flag down. And Chancellor Lee Parker scurries for about a 9-yard gain. But this one might be coming back as well. Another holding call on the Tornadoes. That'll back them up even further. So it'll be 1st and 25. From the 30-yard line. Beamish drops back to pass. Incomplete. Intended for Hogan. Jaden James was there and trying to jump on that route and come up with potential pick 6. Clock stops at 35 seconds. This game has come to a grinding halt here in the final minute of the second quarter. Under the lights here at Brevard College, a 35-3 lead for the NATOs. 2nd and 25, Beamish back to pass. Able to find Orr in and out of the hands of Zachary Orr. Had Orr brought that one in, that would have been another big gainer. All sorts of daylight. Orr had a sort of a cushion all around him. No defender in sight. I'll bring up 3rd down. 30.9 seconds to play here in the first half. Handoff there to DJ Henderson. And he's brought down at the 38-yard line. I'll bring up 4th down, and that'll be the last play, one would imagine, of this first half, as the two teams will head towards their respective locker rooms. It's been all Tornadoes here in this first half. Your score at halftime at Eyes Lamel Family Field on homecoming: Brevard 35, Greensboro 3. Stick with us. We'll have statistics and first half highlights. And then the second half of action from here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Your score: Brevard 35, Greensboro 3. Welcome back here to Eyes Lamel Family Field on the campus of Brevard College. 35-3, Tornadoes on top. 359 to 141, the total yards differential. Brevard with 11 first downs compared to 7 for Greensboro. 198 passing yards for Brevard, 124 for Greensboro. And Brevard getting it done on the ground as well, 161, just 17 rushing yards for Greensboro. Ethan Beamish, 10 of 14 with 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 198 yards. Jaden Deaton, the leading rusher for the Tornadoes, 7 carries for 95 yards and a touchdown. That included a 70-yard touchdown. Zachary Orr has become the career receiving leader here at Brevard College as he was able to haul in 5 catches for 101 yards, has 2 touchdowns on the day. Cooper Hogan, 2 catches for 74 yards, including a 64-yard touchdown. Reggie Taylor has a catch for 14 yards, and also George Rennie with a catch for 5 yards. Greensboro, leading rusher Smith, 7 carries for 17 yards. Starting quarterback Deion Cannon, 3 of 4 for 54 yards. He left the game due to injury. We saw Morrison as well. Hawkins credited with a completion on a trick play that went for 42 yards. Coy Davis, the leading receiver for the Pride, 3 catches for 47 yards. So some scores from around the world of college football. Appreciate you spending your time with us here on this Brevard College Tornado YouTube channel. But in case you're wondering, some games currently underway. Georgia 41, Mississippi State 24, 2 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Florida and Tennessee, low scoring through 1 quarter. Florida 3, Tennessee 0. And some finals. Clemson 49, Wake Forest 14. Georgia Tech defeats North Carolina 41-34. Alabama squeaks by South Carolina 27-25. BYU, the 14th ranked team in the country, defeats Arizona 41-19. Other scores in the fourth quarter: Notre Dame 49, Stanford 7. And later tonight, even more action across the world of college football. Ole Miss versus LSU down in Baton Rouge. Vanderbilt at Kentucky. Kansas State at Colorado. So college football has hit its stride, and Tornadoes have hit their stride here on this homecoming matchup. A dominant first half, 35-3. The quick strike, the big play, big theme of this one. Ethan Beamish, a 64-yard pass to Cooper Hogan. That got the scoring started. Just a 3-play drive there. Then the Tornadoes, a 5-play drive. Beamish finding Orr. That made the score 14-0. Jaden Deaton then with a 70-yard rush, the longest rush from scrimmage by a Tornado this season. That made the score 21-0. And then Zachary Orr on the very first play of the drive at the end of the first quarter with a 56-yard pass. Completion from Ethan Beamish. That made the score 28-0 at the end of 1. Greensboro was able to get on the board with a field goal by Chapman, 21 yards out. And then the Tornadoes scored again to make it 35-3 as Chancellor Lee Parker found the end zone with a 16-yard rushing TD. So it all adds up to a Brevard 35-7 advantage. Greensboro will receive to start the third quarter. And we're ready to get things started once again here, second half of action. Samuel Vargas will put toe to leather. Harris and Carr deep. It's Harris from the 3-yard line. And Tornado Special Teams has done a great job on this kick coverage. And once again, Justin Tournier makes the tackle. Sophomore out of McDonough, Georgia. Eagles Landing High School. Ohio State, Oregon, another big one happening tonight, as we were mentioning some scores around college football. Ohio State with an early 7-0 lead. Here at Eis Lamel Family Field, it's 35-3 Tornadoes. Morrison back to pass for the Pride. He's able to find Harris. Harris turns upfield. Big gainer there on the first play from scrimmage here in the third quarter. Jamari McDaniel, also Justice Redmond, eventually pushed him out, but that's a nice gain there. Morrison. Eight of 17 has come in as the relief pitcher for Cannon, who went out due to injury. And interception there for the Tornadoes. James Woods, and then he spins forward. A flag flies. And the Tornadoes with the INT, James Woods, sort of playing center fielder back there. There's a flag on the field. Something having to do with the return after the interception. A block in the back on Brevard during the return. So that'll back up Brevard College with the interception by James Woods. Second takeaway by the Tornado defense. A forced fumble earlier by Robert Dorsey, recovered by Obadiah Grimes, and now a interception, the fourth of the season for the Tornado defense, the second of the year for James Woods. 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes after the block in the back penalty on the return. Handoff here to Chancellor Lee Parker. And he stood up there at the line of scrimmage. Jaden Law. Also Cedric Crenshaw Jr. there defensively for Greensboro. Jaden Law, sophomore from Augusta, Georgia. Home of the Masters, of course. Also, Brevard College's very own illustrious alum Donald Hudson, hometown, Augusta, Georgia. Head women's basketball coach here at Brevard College. Can't wait to get the basketball season started. We're just moments away from that. Meanwhile, timeout on the field for Brevard College. 13:20 to play. Tornadoes 35, Pride 3.
Every cheer, for every play, we know there's a little prayer that no one gets hurt. That's why we are there too. Party athletic trainers, physicians, and specialists. We're watching closely for any sign that someone needs care. And if your child is hurt, they're seen right away by the region's top specialists. The Party Sports Medicine team is at every game, match, race, practice, and workout, providing medical attention and guidance. For us, winning is all about playing healthy and smart so you can perform at your best.
2nd and 10, back to action here. And completion there as Beamish was able to find Cuellar. Givens with the tackle. First catch for Joseph Cuellar of the contest. That's the 6th different receiver that Beamish has found. Cuellar, real weapon from that tight end position. Rush here for Chancellor Lee Parker. For Cuellar, that's his 5th catch on the season. He has 2 touchdowns on the year. Lee Parker with the 5-yard gain brought down by Robinson. 12:15 and counting here in the 3rd period. Homecoming here on the campus of Brevard College. Day started with a volleyball match and men's soccer with a big 1-0 victory over William Peace. And now the nightcap under the lights here at Islamel Family Field with the Brevard College football team. Chancellor Lee Parker near the sticks, just shy of the first down marker. It'll be 3rd and 1. Some new personnel checking in, Cooper Hogan and Zachary Orr. Hogan is often the go-to receiver in these 3rd down situations. Tornadoes come out of the huddle. Center Josh Blackstock with Beamish under center. Fullback in the game. I formation for the Tornadoes. And able to find Cuellar. Looks like he was able to get the first down due to forward progress. And that's indeed the case, a first down. So nice play call. Interesting formation, the old-fashioned I formation. And may have confused that Greensboro defense just a little bit. You don't see that too often these days in college football. 10:45 and counting here in period number 3. First and 10. Rush here to Deaton. Deaton having another big day in a Tornado uniform. Deaton leading all players in the rushing category this evening. I'll bring up 2nd and 7. Pass there to Cuellar, so we're seeing a lot of Cuellar on this drive. Brought down by Palethorpe. So another first down for the Nados. And milking some clock here in this 3rd period. Over a 5-minute drive thus far. Rush here to Deaton. Deaton able to turn the corner. Solid gain of 4 or 5 yards. Brought out of bounds by Brown.
Forced out of bounds by number 20, Tayson Brown.
So Deaton now over the 100-yard mark for the 2nd time this season. 102 yards at the moment. Another rush for Deaton. He'll add to that total. Gain of 8. Aaron Ingram brought him down along with Brown. Deaton had 112 yards in the win over Belhaven here at Islamel Family Field. He's currently sitting on 110. Rush here to DJ Henderson. And the Tornadoes continuing to pound the ball. This rushing attack. Seven minutes and counting here on this drive. Jordan Bennett and Robinson with that tackle of DJ Henderson. Seeing more and more of DJ Henderson as the season rolls on. Sophomore out of Covington, Georgia. Sort of that third down back type, scat back. Beamish eluding the pass rush and looking for Ian Castellanos. Incomplete. Some nice awareness there by Beamish of where the line of scrimmage was to make sure he got that pass off. Looking for Castellanos, but incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd and 9. Clock stops, 7:17 to play in the third quarter. Beamish, 13 of 18, 3 touchdowns and an interception, 225 yards. Third and 9. Beamish again gets through the pass rush, but then eventually brought down. A sack by Ray. Zaire Ray with the sack. He's a freshman. And the field goal unit heading out. This will be a long one. This will be from 50 yards. Hugo Taylor from 50. Kick is up. And just off the mark as Hugo Taylor attempting the 50-yard kick. And Greensboro will take over from there, but the amount of time that the Tornadoes chewed off on that drive, significant. .6:26 to play here in this third quarter. Tornadoes ahead by 32 points. New quarterback for Greensboro, Josh Sims. Smith with the carry. Bailey Ramey with the tackle. Also Hot Rod Fenton on the case. Josh Sims, the third quarterback we've seen from the Greensboro Pride. He's a sophomore from Cornelius, North Carolina. .5:45 to play here in the third. Play action. Sims was looking for his tight end. And flag on the play. James Woods with a big hit there to break up the pass. We'll see if this is perhaps a targeting call. It seemed like a clean hit to us up here in the press box, and certainly the Brevard College faithful not too pleased with a flag flying there. still talking things over. Now one of the officials talking with head coach Bill Kyatt. So personal foul on James Woods. So 15 yards there, and a lot of moans and groans from the crowd here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Not happy with that call. What so many saw as a positive defensive play. Pass was intended to big tight end for Greensboro. Meanwhile, rush here for Smith. Robert Dorsey with the tackle. Kentrell Holloway, the nickelback, checking back in. Second and 4. Nice play there. Sims able to find Wes Kidd. Wes Kidd, the senior from Sanford, North Carolina. Justice Redmond pushed them out of bounds. So Greensboro moving the ball with Sims now at quarterback. First and 10 from the 45. Rush up the middle, and Jaquavius Weldon, a freshman from Raleigh, North Carolina, with his first carry. He's brought down just a yard or two short. It'll be second and 2 from the 37. Sims. Handoff again to Jaquavius Weldon. And that'll be a first down. .345 and counting here in the third period. After an explosive first half. Neither team has scored here in the second half. 2 long drives by each team so far. 3:30 and counting. Zion Wilson with the tackle, as Weldon with another carry. Zion Wilson, graduate student, defensive lineman out of Scottsburg, Virginia, transferred from Ferrum. Second and 9. Keeper for Sims, and Sims able to split a couple of Tornado defenders, make his way all the way to the 24. Bailey Ramey, Adam Cheney, was 2 linebackers in on the tackle. 2:43 and counting. 3rd and 2 for Greensboro.
Fans, let's cheer for your Tornado defense. It's 3rd down.
Weldon with the carry, brought down by Rollerson. There's an injured player on the play. Hot Rod Fenton being attended to. Well, Brevard started the season with a non-conference loss to Hampton-Sydney and came up with a huge win here at Eyes Lamel Family Field, 42-26 over Belhaven back on September the 21st. Belhaven, the defending USA South Conference champions, had a game scheduled against Maryville. That was postponed due to the effects of Hurricane Helene, and then returned to action last week in Buena Vista, Virginia, to take on Southern Virginia, a 55-21 win. So Tornadoes 2-0. Kind of unusual where the Tornadoes entering today have only played 3 games on their schedule. And part of that was because the first 2 weeks of the season, where a lot of college football was getting started, were actually both off weeks for the Tornadoes. They didn't start their season until September 14th. They'll play every single week from here on out with no open or bye weeks between here and the end of the season. Offsetting penalties. And meanwhile, 1st and 10. Sims, handoff to Weldon. We've seen a bunch of Weldon on this drive. After tonight, the Tornadoes will host LaGrange on Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Special start time there. It's the Hometown Heroes game. Make sure you come on out here to Islamel Family Field. We're going to be honoring all the hometown heroes, all the first responders, so many of whom have been such a huge part of the relief efforts following Hurricane Helene. Play action pass. Ball's batted down, almost intercepted. Broken up by Adam Cheney, and then almost picked off. Pass from Sims was intended to Wes Kidd. So after the game next weekend against LaGrange, Tornadoes will travel to certainly one of the big rivals of Brevard College, Huntington, in Montgomery, Alabama. That's on Saturday, October 26th. And then the final home game of the season on November the 2nd, that's Senior Day, a noon start here at Islamel Family Field versus Methodist. Meanwhile, keeper by Sims. Gain of 9 brought down by Ramey. What a day once again for Bailey Ramey, leading tackler for the Tornadoes this season and getting it done once again. And field goal unit on for Greensboro. So Tornadoes defense again keeps Greensboro out of the end zone. Chapman with Morrison holding. It's blocked. 28-yard field goal attempt blocked by the Tornadoes special teams. And the Tornadoes come up with it with great field position in the meantime. That ball ricocheted back all the way to the 48-yard line. So we believe Jamari McDaniel had the block. We'll try to look at that with a fine-tooth comb. Big play by the Tornado special teams. The turnover belt is out. Obadiah Grimes is who's holding the belt for whatever that's worth. Meanwhile, sack here is going to push Tornadoes way back. Ray and Holmart there on the sack. Ball's all the way back to the 29-yard line. It's 2nd and 29. So Ethan Beamish will go back to work here. Play action. Pass there, incomplete. Or the intended receiver. So 3rd and 29, also known around these parts as 3rd in Hendersonville, one county over. Pass here, able to find an open Zachary Orr. He makes one defender miss. It's a big gain there. Now the ball's loose. Greensboro believes they have come up with the football. But he was called down. Robinson is who brought down Orr. That was the last play of the 3rd quarter. And 4th down coming when we start quarter number 4. Your score at the end of 3, Tornadoes 35, Pride 3. So for the first time in this contest, Brevard College has lined up in the punt formation. You know things are going well when you haven't punted through 3 quarters. Samuel Vargas with the punt. Good looking punt from Vargas, backed up to the 5 and then tackled for a loss. A 45-yard punt. A loss of 1 on the return. James Woods. Woods just flying down the field. And able to make that special teams tackle. Tornadoes have done a nice job on special teams in a lot of different areas. Blocked field goal. Some great kickoff and punt coverage, including that tackle by James Woods. Sims will go back to work, the 3rd quarterback of the evening for Greensboro. Handoff to Weldon. It's been a big dose of Weldon here in the second half. Darius Richardson with the tackle. Richardson, defensive back from Winter Haven, Florida, Orlando Christian Prep. Batted ball there. Robert Dorsey with the breakup on the batted ball. Those big paws of those defensive linemen making things tough for the Greensboro passing attack. And that'll bring up another 3rd down opportunity for the Tornado defense. They've been outstanding in this category. Greensboro just 2 of 10 on 3rd down this evening. Rush here from Sims. He's going to be shy of the 3rd down marker, so make it 2 of 11 in that category. Dylan James with the tackle. Dylan James, affectionately known as Champ here on the Brevard College campus. Champ out of Gainesville, Florida. Gator country. So punt situation here for Greensboro. Chapman will boot it with Zachary Orr deep. Orr is going to let it bounce, and it takes a fortuitous bounce for the Pride all the way to the 41-yard line. So a 45-yard punt. And the Tornadoes will take it from there. There's a flag on the play, way back near the line of scrimmage. Still a discussion with the officiating crew. And it's a holding penalty on the Tornadoes on a play that there wasn't even a return. So another one that will keep coaches up late at night. 13:20 to play here, quarter number 4. First and 10 for the Nados. Beamish with the pass to Chancellor Lee Parker, and Chancellor Lee Parker turns upfield. Nice gain there. Another first down for the Nados. 16th first down of the contest for Brevard.
That's a Brevard College first down.
So first and 10 from the 47. Ethan Beamish in the shotgun. Flag is down, able to find his favorite target, Zachary Orr, on that far sideline. See what the flag's all about. Tyler Lee, who's there defensively for the Pride. Penalty against Brevard, legal formation. So that'll back up the Nados 5 more yards. So first and 15 from the 48. And Ethan Beamish will break the huddle. Great work this evening by Josh Blackstock, his center. A lot of responsibility on Blackstock to call out the assignments against this Greensboro defense that comes up with a lot of different exotic defensive formations and stunts. Bennett and Givens with the tackle. So able to gain back quite a few yards after the penalty, making it a much more manageable 2nd and 6. Reggie Taylor in motion. Now Orr to the right of Beamish. Beamish looking at his options, able to find an open wide receiver. That's Jack Spots. Jack Spots now the 7th receiver for Brevard College.
That's Brevard College first down.
Will Palethorpe with the tackle. Jack Spots, real fan favorite. Great to see him coming up with that catch. Junior from Bynum, North Carolina. Rush there for Chancellor Lee Parker. 10:40 and counting here in the fourth period. It's been all Brevard College. 35-3, all in the first half. Scoreless ever since, but when you've got a cushion like that, you can run the ball and chew clock, which Tornadoes have done with a couple of long drives here in the second half. Chancellor Lee Parker with the rush there. That's Lee Parker's 13th carry. 66 yards. Jaden Deaton checks back in. He's got 109 yards on the night. Just 3 yards shy of his career high in a Tornado uniform, set versus Belhaven. Beamish, back to pass. Deep shot. Wide open is Reggie Taylor, the second. Touchdown, Tornadoes. Reggie Taylor, the second. And the Tornadoes score for the first time here in this second half, extend their lead even further, now 41-3. That's Beamish's fourth touchdown pass on the night. Hugo Taylor in for yet another extra point attempt. Kick is up and good. So 42-3, Tornadoes spread their lead even further. Reggie Taylor with the big touchdown. A 31-yard touchdown reception for Taylor. It's Taylor's third touchdown of the year. Vargas will check kickoff for the Tornadoes. Carr and Harris deep. It'll be Harris, but he's going to let it go. It'll be a touchback for Greensboro. So 4 touchdown performance for Ethan Beamish. He had 5 touchdowns last week at Southern Virginia. So 9 touchdowns over the last 2 games for Ethan Beamish. Deep shot here. Sims lets it fly. Intended for Kirk Brown. Sims showing off some of that arm strength. Seeing some new personnel for both teams. Rush here. Dykes, number 24 for Greensboro. Kerry Dykes junior from New London, North Carolina. Under 9 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. It'll be 3rd and long for Greensboro. Another deep shot for Sims. A pretty throw, but nobody home. So that'll bring up 4th down, another punting situation for Greensboro. The 5th punt for Chapman this evening. He's done a nice job, averaging 41 per punt, had a long of 51. This one takes another Greensboro bounce. And that'll land inside the 30. So 45 yards on that punt. And the Tornadoes will take over there. So Tornadoes will take back over, 8:23 to play here in the fourth quarter. DJ Henderson at that running back position to the left of Ethan Beamish. Beamish, quick hitter to Cooper Hogan. And Will Palethorpe with the tackle. Gain of 4. Under 8 minutes to play here in the fourth period. Next home game this coming Saturday versus LaGrange, 3:30 p.m. right here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. Saturday, October the 19th. Tackle for loss there. Ray and Bennett in on the action. Bring up 3rd and long. Taylor and Rennie have checked in. Also Zachary Orr on this 3rd down. We'll see what Tornadoes dial up offensively. Beamish back to pass, rolls out to his right. Intended for George Rennie, broken up nicely by Keandrick Baines of Greensboro College. Baines, the senior DB out of Rayford, North Carolina, Trinity Christian High School. And for the second time this evening, we'll see the punt unit for Brevard College. Under 7 minutes to play now. Samuel Vargas. Seen him in the kickoff role as well, the freshman from Westminster, South Carolina. Javian Carr is deep for the Pride. Big boot there, fair catch at the 37, so Greensboro will take over there. So a lot of substitutions, a bunch of new defensive players for Brevard College. We'll let you know who some of those are. And a new quarterback, the fourth quarterback of the game for Greensboro. Weldon with the carry once again. New quarterback is James Spina Jr., sophomore out of Little Egg Harbor, New Jersey. So fourth quarterback of the game for Greensboro. Weldon with the carry once again. A flag on the play after the play, some extracurricular. So a different look defensively. Some new personnel in for Brevard College. Seeing the likes of Antonio King, Chase Pfeiffer. Secondary players like Carter Rollerson and Justin Tournier, Jalen Brown, Jamon Fanning. Jordan Ramey into the contest as well on the defensive line. Mason Tanner at the linebacker position. So 3rd and long. And Tornadoes there defensively. So do want to make a correction. Trayvon Moore is who we have listed as number 17, different than the original roster we were handed. So we believe Trayvon Moore was that 4th quarterback for Greensboro. Might be a muff punt. We'll see what the call is. Tornadoes able to land on the fumbled punt. Will Marshall heads up play by the graduate student from Louisville. So Elijah Campbell has entered the contest, new quarterback for Brevard. So that'll be it for Ethan Beamish after an 18 for 25, 4-touchdown performance for 310 yards. He did have 1 interception. Campbell recovers his own fumble, then runs forward. Gain of about 5 yards. Elijah Campbell, brought down there by Lee. So 2nd and 5 for Campbell and company. Campbell, rush here to DJ Henderson. Palethorpe with the tackle. Jeremiah Rudolph, number 16, into the game as well for Brevard College. Rudolph, junior from Winter Garden, Florida. Hayden Schnell has checked into the game as well on that offensive line. Campbell back to pass. Intended for Jeremiah Rudolph. Incomplete. And that'll bring on the punt unit for the Tornadoes. .326 to play here. It's all academic at this point in a 42-3 game. Samuel Vargas back to punt once again. Carr ready to return for the Pride. Pride able to get the ball to the 35 off the punt return. James Woods, what a day he has had with the tackle. Seth Robinson's checked in defensively for the Tornadoes, junior linebacker at Orangeburg, South Carolina. Pass there. Caught by Yarborough. Tyshawn Yarborough, junior tight end. .255 and counting. Rush underneath there and able to bust forward. Big gainer there. One of the better offensive plays of the day for Greensboro. Jaleel Green with the carry for Greensboro. Freshman out of Rockingham, North Carolina. Injured player on the field being attended to. Zion Wilson. Big thanks to the athletic training staff here at Brevard College for all they do to keep the Tornadoes healthy. Michael Cabry, the head athletic trainer, associate head athletic trainer, Nicole Harshbarger, Jacob Tuja, and Sylvia Parisi, assistant athletic trainers. Great work by the medical staff here at Brevard College and also UNC Pardee. Thank you for all they do. 2:25 and counting. And the Tornadoes are going to come up with another quarterback sack. Jordan Ramey, brother of Bailey Ramey, with the tackle. As we inch towards the 2-minute timeout. And we'll stop the clock at 2 minutes, right after Josh Sims had just checked in back at the quarterback position. So we'll take a break. At the 2-minute timeout here in the fourth quarter, all Tornadoes, 42-3 over Greensboro. Sims, your quarterback for Greensboro, coming out of the 2-minute timeout. Pass there, complete, just short of the first down marker. Tackle by Obadiah Grimes. He's had a big day. Another injured player. So Greensboro injury. Jaleel Green, who had entered the contest at that running back position. Well, do you want to give you some more scores from around the world of college football? Appreciate you spending your time here on this YouTube channel. At halftime, Florida 3, Tennessee 0. In the second quarter, 10 minutes to play until halftime, Ohio State 14, Oregon 12. Also in the second quarter, Ole Miss 10, LSU 0. West Virginia leads 11th-ranked Iowa State 7-0. And earlier today, finals, Texas defeating Oklahoma 34-3. Penn State beat USC 33-30. Georgia over Mississippi State 41-31. And Alabama squeaks by South Carolina 27-25. Clemson 49, Wake Forest 14, Notre Dame 49, Stanford 7, BYU 41, Arizona 19. Pitt beats Cal 17-15. New running back, Quentin Solomon, number 45. And Solomon, right on cue, is going to find the end zone. First time all evening, Greensboro's found the end zone. So Tornadoes were a minute 25 away from keeping Greensboro out of the end zone, but Solomon able to come up with the touchdown. Quentin Solomon. So 42-9, and now extra point attempt for Chapman with Morrison, who we've seen at that quarterback position, holding. And it's a keeper for Morrison, looking for kind of a surprise two-point conversion, but to no avail. Down 42-9, might as well try some different things. Jalen Brown for the tackle there on that unsuccessful two-point conversion. Kind of done in an unconventional way there, lining up for the PAT. And kicking off here will be Greensboro after they score their first touchdown of the contest with 1:25 to play. Sawyer will kick off for Greensboro. Lane and Taylor deep. Jeremiah Lane with the return. Some nifty running from Lane, but he's eventually caught up by several Pride defenders. Ray and Walker on the tackle on the kickoff return coverage. So Elijah Campbell at quarterback for the Tornadoes. Tristan Wynn at that running back position. Snap goes over Campbell's head. Wynn dives on it. May have saved a potential Greensboro touchdown there, Tristan Wynn. Ethan Beamish checks back in for the Tornadoes. Some different personnel in as well. Number 34, Anthony Simpkins, into the game at wide receiver. Also, Jared Smith. Rush there. Tristan Wynn. As that should be the final play of this homecoming 2024 game under the lights at Islamel Family Field. A dominant performance by Brevard College as the seconds tick away, and it's a final. Brevard with the 42-9 final score. So big time win for Brevard College. (42-9), and in a game that the Tornadoes prepared hard for. This isn't a Greensboro team to be taken lightly, and the Tornadoes showed up big time. 42-9 on homecoming. Tornadoes improved their record to 3-1 overall, 3-0 in the USA South Conference. Tornadoes with a big day. Really staked this lead early. Ethan Beamish to Cooper Hogan, 64-yard reception started the scoring. Beamish then found Zachary Orr for 20 yards to make it 14-0. Jaden Deaton with a 70-yard rush. And then the Hugo Taylor extra point makes it 21-0. And it was 28-0 at the end of the third quarter after Beamish found Zachary Orr for 56 yards. Greensboro got on the board for the first time in the second quarter on a 21-yard field goal by Thomas Chapman. That was followed by Chancellor Lee Parker, a 16-yard rush to make it 34-3. Hugo Taylor, extra point, makes it 35-3, and that was your score at halftime. After a long opening drive, Beamish found Reggie Taylor the second. 41-3 was your score. Hugo Taylor with the extra point to make it 42-3, and in the final 2 minutes of this game, Quentin Solomon with a touchdown run for Greensboro made it 42-9. Tornadoes with 18 first downs, Greensboro with 14. Tornadoes with 159 rushing yards, 111 for Greensboro. 310 passing yards, 176 for Greensboro. Total yards, 469 for the Brevard College offense. 287 for the Greensboro offense. Each team had an interception, and the Tornadoes were able to come up with a fumble recovery. Tornadoes did fumble the ball 3 times, but did not lose any of those fumbles. So no harm done in that department. Third down conversions. Greensboro just 3 of 14. Great job by the Tornado defense in that category. 5 of 11 for the Brevard College offense on third down. And Greensboro did try 2 fourth down conversions. Nothing happening in both of those. Tornadoes able to take over on downs. Individually, big day for Ethan Beamish once again. 18 completions, 25 attempts, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 310 yards. A outstanding QB rating for Ethan Beamish. Zachary Orr, the leading receiver, 6 catches for 122 yards, 2 touchdowns, including a 56-yarder. Orr this evening became the career leader all time in receiving yards here at Brevard College, surpassing Bubba Craven. Kind of a legendary name in the Brevard College record books. Well, Zachary Orr now sits atop that category. Cooper Hogan with a big day, 3 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown, including a 64-yarder. Reggie Taylor, 2 catches for 45 yards and a touchdown. Joseph Cuellar, 3 catches, 27 yards. Chancellor Lee Parker had a pair of catches as well. And Jack Spots and George Rennie, each with receptions. Rushing, big day, just shy of his career best. Jaden Deaton, 10 carries, 109 yards, a touchdown, had that huge 70-yard rush. That was just electric from Deaton. Chancellor Lee Parker, 13 carries for 62 yards and a touchdown. Zachary Orr had a nice carry himself on a tricky little end around, 1 carry for 14 yards. DJ Henderson also carried the ball 5 times. Tornadoes defensively, led by Bailey Ramey with 8 tackles. Also had quite a few tackles for loss. Got in on 4 of those. Adam Cheney with 8 tackles. James Woods with 6 tackles. Jordan Ramey with 5 tackles. Quarterback sacks from Robert Dorsey. And then getting in on sacks, also Bailey Ramey, Antonio King, and Jordan Ramey as well. Dorsey had a couple of hurries, as did Trey Williams. Interception from James Woods. And pass breakups from Adam Cheney, McDaniel, Dorsey, Rollerson, and Bailey Ramey. Greensboro, we saw 4 different quarterbacks and a 5th player with a passing attempt and a completion. That was Hawkins on a trick play. But we saw Morrison, we saw Sims, we saw Cannon, we saw Moore. Cannon was the original starter. He went out for injury. Morrison played the majority of the first half. We saw a lot of Sims in the second half. Leading receiver was Jones with 2 catches for 54 yards. Davis had 3 catches for 47. Harris 4 for 33. And Weldon ended up being the leading rusher with 28 yards. But great job by the Tornado defense, really holding the Greensboro offense in check. Ray was the leading tackler for the Greensboro defense with 9. And Brevard able to take this win 42-9. Well, next up for the Tornadoes, another home game. This will be the Hometown Heroes game on Saturday the 19th, 1 week from today. 3:30 p.m. start time, special start time here at Islamel Family Field. Hope you can come out for that one. There'll be a men's soccer game prior to that if you want to make a double dip out of the day. We saw men's soccer earlier today. A impressive 1-0 win over William Peace. So next up, LaGrange for Brevard College. And Tornadoes will try to keep this undefeated record going here in USA South Conference play. But a big-time win here on homecoming, 42-9. Well, really appreciate you tuning in for this edition of Brevard College Football. Tomorrow, the Futures. So come on out, either here to Eyes Lamel Family Field or tune into this YouTube channel and get a look at literally the future of Brevard College football. I mean, these are the names you're going to want to get to know, keep an eye on, and they'll be in action tomorrow at 2 p.m. right here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. We'll have it for you here on this YouTube channel. Looking forward to that. Big thanks to all those that helped behind the scenes for tonight's game. Big thanks to the operations staff led by Athletic Director Miranda Nash and Senior Woman Administrator Kristen Rosado, also Director of Compliance Destiny Williams, Brevard College men's and women's lacrosse helping out behind the scenes as well. And then our group here in the press box doing yeoman's work late at night. PA announcer Ray Gill, of course, Sports Information Director Joseph Marvin, Sports Information Assistant Izzy Musser, helping with statistics Brandon Ridley and Tori Robinson. Our broadcast spotter this evening, great job by Walker Kimbrell. Sharif Pennington handling some camera work for us. Appreciate his work. And also Chris Guzman on the ones and twos in that DJ position, handling the music. Big thanks to a couple of our coaches as well, women's basketball coach and an alum of Brevard College, Donald Hudson, and Director of Track and Field, Josh Hall, helping with the clock operation here at Eyes Lamel Family Field. And thank you, NATO Nation, for tuning in to tonight's game and for your support all season long. Well, that'll do it for us here at Brevard College. A successful homecoming, big win for the men's soccer team, and then a huge win for the Brevard College football team, 42-9. Thanks to all the alumni who made it back here to Brevard College. It was a little different this year coming off of the hurricane, and appreciate everyone's understanding that we're trying to limit this event to locals because there's still major disaster relief going on throughout the region, and want to be sensitive and understanding of that. But appreciate everybody for either tuning in or coming out this evening for what was a big-time win by Brevard College football. So for all of us at Brevard College, your final score for the final time: Tornadoes 42, Pride 9. Go Tornadoes.